You want to hear something that no one's going to tell you? For the longest time, I always tried to find myself, find who I was, what my purpose was. But until recently, I didn't realize that the whole entire time, it was never about finding myself. It was about creating myself, creating the person that I wanted to be, creating the person that I saw in my mind, the vision that I had. It was never about finding these pieces, it was about creating them. Stop trying to find who you're supposed to be or what you're supposed to be doing, but create the person that does those things. Because let me tell you something, no one is coming to hand you a neatly wrapped box with a tag that says, "Congratulations, here's your purpose, your path, and your perfectly sculpted sense of self." No, that's not how this works. You don't find yourself like a lost sock under the bed. You build yourself, one decision, one risk, one gut-wrenching moment at a time. You don't wake up one day with all the answers. You wake up with choices. And those choices, they shape you, they carve you, they forge you in fire, break you into a million pieces, and demand that you put yourself back together. Stronger, smarter, sharper. See, the problem is, most people are out here waiting for a sign, waiting for clarity, waiting for motivation to strike like a lightning bolt from the heavens. But guess what? Motivation is fickle. It's like that friend who texts, "We should totally hang out," and then disappears for 6 months. You can't rely on it. Discipline though, action, that's where the magic happens. You don't wait to become the person you want to be. You act like that person. You show up. You do the work. You train your mind, your body, your habits like a sculptor chiseling away at marble, relentless, unwavering, unstoppable. And yeah, it's gonna be messy. There will be days where you feel like you're making no progress, where everything you touch turns to dust, where doubt creeps in like an unwanted house guest, whispering, "Maybe you're not meant for this, maybe this is too much." And that's exactly when you dig in deeper. That's when you prove to yourself who you really are. Because let's be real, comfort is the enemy of greatness. You don't grow in the soft, cozy warmth of your comfort zone. You grow in the storm, in the discomfort, in the stretching of your limits. Think about a lobster. Yes, a lobster. It outgrows its shell, gets uncomfortable, and then it sheds it, exposing itself, vulnerable and raw, until it grows a stronger, bigger one. That's you. That's all of us. Growth demands discomfort. It demands courage. So stop waiting for life to hand you a blueprint. Make your own. Stop looking around for validation, for permission, for someone to tell you, yes, this is the right path. The right path is the one you build beneath your feet as you walk it. You weren't meant to blend in. You weren't meant to follow a script someone else wrote. You were meant to carve your own way with blood, sweat, fire, and audacity. So get up, get moving, and start creating the person you were always meant to be. Because here's the thing, no one is going to do it for you. No one is going to reach into the depths of your potential, pull it to the surface, and hand it to you on a silver platter. You have to be the sculptor and the stone, the architect and the foundation, the artist and the canvas. And I know what you're thinking, but what if I mess up? What if I don't get it right? What if I'm not good enough? Good. Those are the right questions, because the only people who never mess up are the ones who never try. The ones who sit in the cheap seats, pointing fingers at the ones in the arena, afraid to risk anything themselves. But you're not here to watch. You're here to play the game, to step into the fire, to create yourself, moment by moment, decision by decision. It's easy to sit back and let life happen to you, to let the waves push you wherever they please. But easy is never what built anything worth admiring. Easy is what keeps people in jobs they hate, in relationships that drain them, in lives that feel like a dull, endless loop of almosts and maybes. You weren't made for easy. You were made for expansion, for pushing past the limits they told you were permanent, for proving again and again that you are the author of your own story, not some passive character waiting for a plot twist to save them. And let me tell you something about those plot twists. You don't wait for them. You make them. You wake up earlier. You work harder. You choose discipline over excuses, commitment over comfort, action over overthinking. You take the vision you have in your mind, the one that feels so distant, so unreachable, and you start making it real. brick by brick, step by step. Because success, achievement, growth, they aren't these grand, mysterious things that belong to the lucky few. They belong to the ones who show up, who decide day after day that they are worth the effort, that their dreams are worth chasing, that their future is worth fighting for. And when the world tries to tell you otherwise, when it whispers, stay in your lane, be realistic, don't aim too high, you laugh, you shake your head, because you know the truth. Realism is the enemy of greatness. If every visionary had played it safe, we'd still be living in caves. If every dreamer had settled for realistic, we wouldn't have electricity, airplanes, the internet, or the art that moves us to our core. So forget realistic. Aim for extraordinary. Be the kind of person who takes risks, who falls down and gets back up, stronger and wiser, who refuses to accept mediocrity because they know deep down that they were meant for more. And I know, it's scary, stepping into the unknown, walking a path no one else can walk for you. But that's the price of becoming who you were meant to be. And that price, it's always worth it. So stop waiting, stop hesitating, stop telling yourself that you'll start tomorrow or next week or when you're ready. You'll never feel fully ready, but you are capable right now. Get up, get moving, and start creating the person you were always meant to be. Because here's the truth, there is no perfect moment, no divine sign, no flashing neon light that says, now is the time to begin. The moment you've been waiting for, it's right now. The second you decide to stop waiting and start building, that's when everything shifts. And I don't mean kind of building. I don't mean dipping your toes in the water, testing the temperature, waiting for reassurance. No, I mean cannonballing in, full force, knowing damn well that the water might be cold, that the current might be strong, but that you're stronger. Because here's the thing about hesitation, it's a dream killer. It's a thief in the night, stealing opportunities, stealing momentum, stealing the life you could be living if you just moved. Think about all the times you've doubted yourself, all the chances you didn't take because you were afraid of failing, afraid of looking stupid, afraid of what people might say. Now, imagine if you had just gone for it. Imagine if, instead of letting fear dictate your choices, you let courage take the lead. What if, instead of asking, what if I fail, you started asking, what if I succeed beyond my wildest dreams? Because here's the thing about failure. It's not the opposite of success. It's the prerequisite. Every person who has ever built something extraordinary has failed over and over again. The only difference between them and the ones who never made it, they kept going. They didn't stop when things got hard. They didn't crumble under the weight of rejection. They didn't listen when the world told them to quit. They adapted, they adjusted, they grew. And that's exactly what you need to do, because here's the reality. No one owes you anything. The world isn't going to hand you success, isn't going to roll out a red carpet for your dreams. You have to take them. You have to fight for them. You have to show up every single day, even when you don't feel like it, even when progress is slow, even when self-doubt creeps in like an unwanted guest, especially then. Because the difference between people who achieve their dreams and people who don't, it's not talent, it's not luck, it's relentlessness. It's the ability to show up for yourself, to bet on yourself, even when the odds aren't in your favor. So let this be the moment. Let this be the turning point. Let this be the day you stop playing small, stop doubting yourself, stop waiting for permission. You don't need permission to be great. You just need to decide that you are. Decide that you're done making excuses. Decide that you're done letting fear win. Decide that the vision you have for yourself, the one that keeps you up at night, the one that tugs at your soul, is worth chasing no matter what it takes. Because here's what I know for sure. You are powerful beyond measure. You are capable of more than you give yourself credit for. You have strength inside you that you haven't even tapped into yet. And when you finally let go of the doubt, the fear, the hesitation, when you finally step fully into the person you were meant to be, there will be no stopping you. So stop waiting, stop hesitating, stop questioning whether you're ready. Get up, get moving, and start creating the person you were always meant to be. Because the truth is, nobody is ever truly ready. Readiness is a myth, a convenient excuse we tell ourselves to avoid discomfort. But let me tell you something. You don't need to be ready, you need to be willing. willing to take the first step even when the path is unclear, willing to bet on yourself even when no one else does, willing to risk failing, stumbling, getting knocked down because you understand that every fall is just another lesson, another stepping stone to greatness. And let's be real, failure, it's not the enemy. Failure is a teacher. It is proof that you are trying, that you are daring, that you are in the game while others are sitting on the sidelines. Think about it. Every person you admire, every success story you've ever heard, every game changer who redefined the world, they all have one thing in common. They failed. Michael Jordan, cut from his high school basketball team. Oprah, fired from her first job as a news anchor. Walt Disney, told he lacked imagination. J.K. Rowling, rejected by 12 publishers, and yet they kept going. They refused to let failure define them. They understood something most people don't. Setbacks are not stop signs. They are signals. Signals that you're pushing your limits, that you're stretching, that you're growing. And that's what life is about. Growth. Because you weren't born to stay the same. You weren't put on this earth to settle for good enough. You were meant to evolve, to expand, to shatter every limit placed upon you by others, by society, by your own mind. And don't think for a second that just because it hasn't happened yet, it never will. Your timeline is your own. Some people find success at 20, others find it at 50. Some people stumble into their purpose early, while others spend years lost in the wilderness before finally discovering who they were meant to be. But here's the key, they keep moving. They don't let impatience rob them of their potential. They don't let comparison make them quit. They don't look at someone else's highlight reel and assume they're falling behind. Because here's the truth, there is no race. There is no competition. The only person you should be competing with is the version of yourself from yesterday. And every single day that you choose growth over comfort, action over excuses, courage over fear, you win. So let's talk about action. Because all the motivation in the world means nothing if you don't translate it into movement. What can you do right now to move closer to the person you want to be? Not tomorrow, not next week, not when you feel ready. Right now. Maybe it's starting that business idea that's been sitting in the back of your mind. Maybe it's going to the gym, even though you don't feel like it. Maybe it's cutting ties with people who drain you instead of fuel you. Maybe it's applying for that job, writing that book, speaking up for yourself, taking a risk, taking a leap, choosing to believe in yourself. Because that's what this all comes down to, belief. You can have all the talent in the world, but if you don't believe in yourself, you'll never reach your full potential. You can have all the intelligence, all the resources, all the opportunities, but if you don't have the courage to take them, to use them, to bet on yourself, then what's the point? It's time to believe, not in some distant, hypothetical version of yourself, not in the maybe someday you, not in the watered down, diluted version of your dreams that you think are realistic. No, it's time to believe in that unstoppable, limitless, extraordinary version of you. The version of you who does not back down. The version of you who rises after every fall. The version of you who refuses to be defined by fear, by failure, by the expectations of others. The version of you who takes up space, who demands more, who creates the life they were meant to live. And that life, it starts the moment you decide. So decide, right here, right now. No more waiting, no more excuses, no more fear. Get up, get moving, and start creating the person you were always meant to be. Because if not now, when? If not you, who? How many more days are you going to waste convincing yourself that tomorrow is a better time to begin? How many more dreams are you going to let slip through your fingers because you were too afraid to chase them? How many more times are you going to sit on the sidelines of your own life, watching, waiting, wishing, when you were meant to be in the arena? Let me make something crystal clear. Nobody is coming to save you. Nobody is coming to fix your life, to hand you success, to carry you to your dreams. It's on you. It's on you to wake up and decide that your life is worth fighting for. It's on you to push past the doubt, past the fear, past every excuse you've ever made. It's on you to create your future with your own hands, not with luck, not with wishes, but with action. Because here's the truth most people don't want to hear. You are exactly where you have chosen to be. Every decision you've made, every action you've taken or avoided has led you here. And that's not meant to be discouraging. That's meant to be empowering, because it means that if you don't like where you are, you have the power to change it. You are not a victim of circumstance. You are not trapped by your past. You are not bound by your mistakes, your failures, your fears. You are the architect, the author, the creator. So what are you building? What story are you writing? What kind of life are you shaping? Because the clock is ticking, and I don't say that to scare you. I say that to wake you up. Every second you waste, someone else is out there grinding. Someone else is putting in the work. Someone else is out there becoming the person you're too afraid to be. And maybe that stings a little. Good. Let it. Let it burn away every excuse you've ever made. Let it push you into movement, because movement is everything. Forget perfect. Forget ready. Forget waiting for the stars to align. Just start. Do something today that your future self will thank you for. Take one step, just one, and then take another. Momentum is your best friend. Build it. Use it. Let it carry you forward. And when doubt creeps in, because it will, when that voice in your head starts whispering, "Who do you think you are?" you answer back, "I am the one who doesn't quit. I am the one who gets back up. I am the one who refuses to settle," because that's who you are now. Not the person who waits, not the person who watches, the person who moves, the person who takes risks, the person who creates their future, the person who years from now will look back and say, "I did that. I built that. I made that happen." So stop waiting, stop doubting, stop hesitating, get up, get moving, and start creating the person you were always meant to be. Because the truth is, if you don't, who will? Nobody is going to hand you the life you dream about. Nobody is going to knock on your door and say, "Hey, I noticed you've been waiting, so here's success, fulfillment, confidence, and purpose, all wrapped up in a nice little package just for you." No, that's not how this works. You either take control of your life, or you let life control you. You either decide to be the creator, or you stay stuck as a bystander, watching, waiting, wishing, while someone else becomes the person you were too afraid to be. And let me tell you, regret will eat you alive. Not the regret of failing, because failure is just a lesson, a stepping stone, a necessary part of the journey. No, I'm talking about the regret of never trying. The regret of knowing you had one life, one chance, and you let it slip through your fingers because you were too afraid to go all in. That kind of regret, that's a slow, suffocating poison, because one day you'll wake up and realize that time didn't wait for you. Life didn't pause while you debated whether or not you were ready. The opportunities you ignored, they passed. The dreams you delayed, they faded. And you're left with a life that feels smaller than the one you were meant to live. But that doesn't have to be your story. Not if you decide right now to change it. Because you still have time. You still have a choice. You still have the ability to step up, step forward, and make something extraordinary out of your life. But you have to move. You have to take risks. You have to embrace discomfort. You have to do the things that scare you, that challenge you, that stretch you. Because comfort is the enemy of growth. Comfort will lull you into mediocrity. Comfort will keep you in the same job, the same routine, the same mindset, convincing you that good enough is good enough. But it's not. Because deep down, you know you're meant for more. More than just existing. More than just getting by. More than just checking off boxes and following the same predictable path that everyone else follows. You are meant to break barriers. You are meant to shatter expectations. You are meant to build something that lasts. And that starts now. Not when it's convenient. Not when you feel 100% ready. Not when the fear disappears, because it never will. It starts the moment you decide that the life you want is worth fighting for. So fight for it. Fight for your dreams. Fight for your future. Fight for the version of yourself that refuses to settle for anything less than greatness. Because this is your moment. This is your chance. This is the beginning of the story where you stop being the person who wishes for more and start being the person who makes it happen. No more waiting. No more excuses. No more fear. Get up, get moving, and start creating the person you were always meant to be. Because here's the thing. This is your life. Nobody else's. Not your parents, not society's, not the critics who sit on the sidelines, watching, judging, offering their opinions while doing nothing themselves. You. You are the one who has to wake up every morning and look in the mirror. You are the one who has to live with the choices you make, or the ones you refuse to make. You are the one who will either build a life you're proud of, or look back years from now wondering, what if? And let's talk about that for a second. What if? What if you actually went all in? What if you actually believed in yourself? What if you stopped playing small, stopped holding back, stopped watering yourself down just to make others comfortable? What if you became the person you always knew you could be? Because deep down, you know you're capable of more. You know there's greatness inside you, just waiting to be unleashed. You know that you weren't born to just exist. You were born to build, to create, to lead, to make an impact. And yet, most people will never reach their full potential. Not because they're not capable, but because they let fear win. They let fear convince them that they're not good enough, not smart enough, not talented enough. They let fear tell them that now isn't the right time, that they need more preparation, that they should wait until things feel perfect. But you're not most people, because most people settle, most people quit. Most people take the easy path, the safe road, the comfortable route that leads to nowhere. And you weren't made for nowhere. You were made for something bigger, something bolder, something that shakes the world and leaves a mark. So let this be the moment. Let this be the chapter in your life where everything changes. Not because the world suddenly gave you permission, but because you took it. Because you stopped waiting, because you stopped doubting, because you decided that you are worthy, you are capable, and you are ready. Not tomorrow, not next year, now. Because your life doesn't change someday. It changes the moment you decide to take action. So stop waiting, stop making excuses, stop living life at half speed when you were built for something greater. Get up, get moving, and start creating the person you were always meant to be.